Hi and welcome to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. Today we're in the Scilly Isles and we're at St Mary's Airport. Some great scenery from Superspud as ever. I'll leave a link to that in the description. We're looking at the new plane from ORBX and it's the Edgley Optica. This is quite a futuristic looking plane but was developed in the late 70s. And it was developed as an alternative for surveillance and observation tasks to a helicopter. This plane has got great endurance and loiter time of about 8 hours. And as you can see in the cockpit, which is very helicopter-like, you've got a great field of view. And it's about 270 degrees, I think you can see around, just panning around the interior here. You've got the rear windows, and the power plant is a ducted fan unit, a flat 6 Lycoming, and it's a ducted fan and it's a pusher aircraft with the thrust behind you, and we'll get her started up and have a listen to that power plant in action. That sounds great. So with that sort of endurance time, this aircraft is obviously more cost effective to run than a helicopter, and this particular model, the Scoutmaster, is equipped with a nose camera, which I'm keen to have a look at. I'm thinking of there we are, there's the nose camera, putting one of the cockpit camera views set up to look as if it's looking out of that camera, which is a pan and zoom unit. And obviously flying in relatively straight lines and not being able to hover a controllable camera is integral to that reconnaissance and surveillance mode. And we're going to have a look at that later in the video, see if we can get that set up. You can see it's a twin boom, twin rudder tail section. There's the ducted fan, and we'll have a listen to the external sound of that rasping engine. It's actually quite a quiet aircraft because of the ducted fan, and that helps with the surveillance role. We can see the elevator there. Because it's ducted, there's no prop wash, which does affect the flight model, because tail authority and rudder or elevator authority is not helped by any wash from the prop with it being ducted, which takes a little bit of getting used to, and I think the flight model is accurate, but it's certainly slightly different. Taxi is fairly straightforward. One thing you do notice is that you're quite close to the ground, probably closer to the ground than you would be in a helicopter cockpit, and you actually feel that you're going a lot faster than you are. When you're taxiing slowly, you think you're speeding, but quite manoeuvrable. We've got a turning point here at the end of the runway, and you can see that she turns well, and we'll get set up for a takeoff. And once we're up in the air and got used to how she handles, I'll get that camera set up and we can look at how we can fulfill that surveillance role with this aircraft. Building speed here, you can see what I mean about the ground rush effect. Yeah, I would think I was already pulling back on the stick, and it took quite a bit of elevator to get her off the ground, which is probably part of the thrust arrangement. But once in the air, very stable, a good platform, which is what it's designed for, quite a decent wingspan, and at sort of 40% power we've got that 8-hour loiter time, because we've got a decent amount of lift and an efficient engine. And as you can see, the view, the aspect out of this aircraft is great. I'm just throwing her around a little bit, just getting used to how she flies. but quite straightforward really. And we can see this fabulous scenery from Superspud. It's the airport and various details from the Scilly Isles, including the harbour which we're heading towards at the moment, which is modelled, and some additional boats and things there. Looks really, really good. Weather's set to a typical UK summer's day. Scilly Isles is part of the UK, just off the southwest coast. So you can see why ORBX would want to choose this aircraft to bring out in the sim, and it's because you can get a great view of the scenery, which is ORBX's speciality. But they've made a really good job of the plane. You would imagine that the texture work would be top notch, which it is, but the instrument panel, the cockpit, the detail, the sounds, all really good. That close-up view there, you can see they've made a good job of the PBR on the textures and the detailing and modelling, and it really is a well-produced aircraft and a great addition to the sim. So I've got my cockpit camera set up to look out from the nose cam on the Optica, and I'm just testing it now. Obviously we can pan. I'm looking from that position where the camera is. Obviously couldn't pan back that far, but just panning the camera, and obviously this is going to help with the surveillance task that we're going to do later on, and obviously we can zoom in as well, and we can focus on and track an object as we fly past. We can't hover, we're going to fly fairly straight and slow, and we just need to keep eyes on the ground and follow an object. So we're approaching the airport, and the mission, should we choose to accept it, is to help the police and the Coast Guard with these two guys, these two planes, which are suspected of illegally importing things to the Scilly Isles, and they're in float planes, and they've just been spotted taxiing for takeoff. No sign of any filed flight plans, and no transponders active, so we've been asked to see if we can track them and see where they're headed. So we're just passing the airport at the moment, and if we get our camera engaged, we should be able to make out these aircraft. It's a Cessna 172 float plane and an XCub float plane, and they're making their way to the end of the runway there. We can just see them. So we've been asked to see if we can work out where they're going to drop off their goods, and the camera's working well. We're able to pan round as we fly slowly by, and with a bit of luck we should be able to see the takeoff. Looks like the Cessna's out first, and wasting no time, behind is the XCub, and if we can keep eyes on them, we can keep the Coast Guard and the police informed of where they're heading. Obviously with the float plane they could be going anywhere and landing ashore. The Coast Guard is actually going to assist, help us to track, and is leaving St Mary's Airport now, and heading towards the harbour area. So I'll try and keep eyes on the float planes that have just left the airport from the Optica, and the Coast Guard will let me know if he gets any sightings. So we'll go back into the Optica now. Sadly, after they left, I've lost track of them. They're off in the distance somewhere. So hopefully I'll get an update from the chopper. And yes, he's got eyes on them, but I think they've seen him. They're over the bay at the moment, just outside the harbour, and they're turning quite sharply towards shore. So I'll get in position, see if I can get some shots of where they're heading. They seem to be heading towards a beach at the north end of the harbour. I'm in position and I can actually make them out crossing the top end of the harbour area above the boats there and heading towards the beach. Looks like they're making a run for it, having spotted the Coastguard. This is where you wish you could hover, because we need to get another track towards the beach here, but I can pan the camera around as I do so. It looks like the XCub Float plane has held short at the beach. Yeah, he's just moving onto the beach now, and if I can get overhead and zoom in, and I may be able to get a freeze frame shot from the nose camera. Yes, they're both down on the beach. I think we can see there. Just grab a frame from the camera, and we should be able to, yeah, identify. They're heading towards the boat sheds at the end of the beach there, hopefully to get away from the police who've been informed where they were headed. I think I need a bit more training on using the camera, but we're getting there. And we confirm now that the chopper's down and the police are in attendance, and they look like they're cornered on the beach there. Here's some footage from the scene. The police were at the site, ready, and saw the Cessna come down, followed by the XCub, and they're in position waiting to apprehend these guys and check their cargo. So we should see the police coming in any time now. And there we have it, cornered on the beach, and I think the Coastguard's headed in as well. So there we are, our surveillance team with the Optica in the air and the chopper and the police on the ground, and we've managed to thwart these guys and their illegal trafficking. Let's have a look again at that culmination of the task. Yeah, Coast Guard coming in, quite a nice landing, and 2 police cars, and got ya. Well, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. The surveillance capabilities of the new Edgley Optica. We'll leave them there at the beach in all their glory, and thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bye.